Hi, I'm Stephanie, and welcome to my big fat revision surgery journey. I welcome you guys to watch my videos, leave some comments in the comment section below, and just enjoy it. I mean, give me encouragement, tell me what you think. I don't mind. Just try not to troll on me. I won't really like that, because this is the real deal here. You're dealing with a person who has emotions and feelings, and I'm a real person, so don't just sit behind your computer and just, troll away and say mean things just because you can and because you're not in front of a person. I am a person. So a little bit about me. I'm Stephanie. I'm originally from the New Orleans, Louisiana area, and I live here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and I have been living here for the last almost 13-14 years now. I have one child who is 16, believe it or not. I do. I am a single mom. I'm a widow, actually. I haven't remarried after his dad passed away, and I found myself, after my husband passed away, I gained about 100 pounds. And over the years, that 100 pounds turned into 120, 150, and more. And I found myself well over 320 pounds. I was 327, give or take. I started looking, back in 2005, I started looking around, thinking about having weight loss surgery. And at the time, the best option for me, along with my insurance, was to have the RNY gastric bypass surgery. I had it in March of 2006, and I lost well over 175 pounds. However, most of that weight, well, I'll say at least 75 pounds of that weight, came from a very nasty eating disorder. I do remember losing the first 87 pounds very, very slowly, and I got really scared that I was closing in on a year and I hadn't even hit the 100 pound mark, and I just decided I was just going to go for it. I was going to stop eating and start doing protein shakes and just lose the weight. And that was the beginning of a very, it was just a downfall, because over the next 6 months I did drop more, and I got down to a size 6 and some size 4s. Didn't stay there very long because I was starving myself to be that weight. And then over the next 2 to 3 years, I'll say 2 to 3 years, closer to 4, the way I maintained that weight, I stayed around a size 8. Sometimes I would go up to a size 10, was by, oh my God, just ridiculous dieting, and it wasn't a way to live. And after a while, I found myself working out. I would work out 5 or 6 days a week, sometimes twice a day, meaning an hour each time. I was doing protein shakes. I tried the lemonade diet. That's the Master Cleanse diet for some of you that might not know that. I tried different pills. I started using laxatives. Senna teas, the dieters teas, anything I could get my hands on, I tried it. And I lived like that for 3 years. And once a friend of mine confronted me and said, you need to eat normally. And during that 3 years, I also gave up eating meat, because every time I ate meat, I felt like it was staying with me. And that's another head thing going on right there, which is not true. That you could eat meat and get the protein from meat, but I just kept thinking it was staying on me and staying in my body. I may return to the vegetarian life, but I will do it a lot healthier next time around, if I do decide to do that. After about 3 years of that, yo-yo dieting, starving myself, just protein drinks, and then I found myself going from a couple of weeks of no food, then I would eat, and then I started eating unhealthy, and then I would go back to starving myself. All the while I was still exercising, even when I was exhaustedly tired, because I hadn't taken enough calories. Well, that did a number on my body. And so when I finally, after this friend confronted me, finally started to try and eat right and exercise and really count my calories. And I don't think I ever went above 1,200 calories a day. At the end of a month, I had gained like nearly 30 pounds. And it freaked me out. And it was horrible because here I am exercising like crazy. And I finally thought, okay, I can eat normal and keep either maintain this weight or lose some. Well, no, I was gaining weight. That made me depressed, and I don't know, after that point I just never looked at it the same, and I started feeling sorry for myself that I couldn't eat like a normal person. And a couple of months went by, and I found myself that I gained, went up a size, so I went from an 8 and some 10s to a 10 and some 12s. And I started eating a little bit more junk food and started drinking with my meals, which was not good at all, because if you do, even if you had restriction, if you're drinking with your meals, you're just pushing it through the funnel. So you're just constantly being hungry. And it was just the beginning to an end. So I had the year of depression, and just after I hurt my back, which is a whole other story for another time, I stopped exercising for a couple of months. Boy, did I gain really fast, 50 pounds really fast. And then I looked up, and it's 2011, and I'm a size 14 and some 16s, and I'm freaking out. And so I get with a friend of mine who had been staying with me due to a divorce, and we started exercising, and he can attest to this, that I exercise way more than him. And it just wasn't coming off. No matter what I was trying, I'd lose 5 or 10 pounds, and then I'd stall and it'd stay there, and if I tried to up my protein, I'd gain weight, and it was just so very, very frustrating. And I didn't give up, and for 11 months I tried and tried and tried, and it just kept fluctuating that way. And I just, somewhere around after I went home for Thanksgiving, I just ate normally, and I just started feeling sorry for myself. And then I started having some issues with my health, where I started having acid reflux and pain, and I didn't know what it was, and I didn't know if it was a gallstone or whatever. So much pain that it landed me into the emergency room, and the doctor couldn't find out what was wrong with me, but he kept saying, you have a different anatomy. And I'm thinking, okay, that's why I'm at the ER. But I digress. So after that visit, he gave me a bunch of meds to kind of deal with the pain. Went back to my original surgeon, who basically just told me, just take some Prilosec and that'll do it. Well, he didn't try to do anything beyond that. But then he also berated me and was really hard on me and told me I should have came to him 75 pounds ago. And I'm going, well, I came to you when I had only lost 75 pounds and told you I was doing the liquid diet, and you looked at me like I was an alien and like it was really my fault, and you didn't offer any help. So at this point, with his attitude and just the arrogance of it all, I just decided not to pay attention to him. And at that point, I decided to start seeking alternative help. I wanted to do a different doctor and just try another diet. And I wanted to do the HCG diet, and for my body type that didn't work, so I couldn't do that, and saw the same doctor who put me on an all liquid diet, which I lost about 20 pounds. And once I started to return to a normal form of eating, even though I wasn't doing a lot of junk food, I might have done a little bit more like a baked potato, which I probably shouldn't have, or some bread, but none of the fast foods. I found myself slowly regaining that weight back, and I was just having normal breakfast, lunch, and a dinner, maybe a bigger dinner, but I was still eating what I thought was normal for a normal person. Maybe not a gastric bypass person, but a very normal person. And watching myself regain that weight, and she watched me regain that weight, and she knew I was very committed. She suggested that I look into a revision, and I started looking there. And while I did want to have the duodenal switch, I thought that, and I still think that probably would have been a better choice for me, just with where I am and the reality of it. It wasn't an option financially. It just wouldn't work for me. Even though my insurance would cover it, I couldn't find a doctor to perform it without charging me $25 additional $1,000 or plus that, and then I had to travel and go through all that. So I started looking at other types of revisions and found a revision doctor who basically did a couple of things, but basically all he did was return me to normal. He fixed that backup that I had, that problem that landed me into the ER, and I'll just read off what he did. I had a laparoscopic resection of the jejunal diverticulum, a partial gastrectomy, a colostomy, I know I'm saying that wrong, a resection of my small intestine, and he also did a liver biopsy to make sure everything was okay there. So that in itself was a lot of work. I'm sure it took a lot of hours to do that, and I don't know what the outcome is going to be, but I'm going to work it for all it's worth. And this time around, I'm going to do it without the eating disorder, and I'll have you there to back me up, to keep me accountable, and hopefully just for some support. Okay, I'll support you and you can support me. I thank you for watching this, and that was basically an introduction and a background. So I'll see you guys next time. Okay.